Yo,
Yes.
but that was it. You couldn't figure this out or something? What do you mean?
Well,
Yes.
no, I had my computer on all day and I got everything dialed in earlier this afternoon. And then I go to sit down to connect to you and it's all glitchy and cutting in and out. So I gave it a restart and we're good.
Rock and roll. I love the background too.
Flush
You
the bugs.
just
Oh, yes. Welcome to my bedroom. Um,
is that where you make sweet, sweet magic or whatever?
all the time. Oh, yeah. Oop, there's a clip.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Dude, good. I
Yeah.
am good. I miss you. I miss real life. I miss a lot of things, but I also don't miss a lot, you
Yeah. Right.
know? I don't know about you, but I'm kind of like, I'm 7 weeks into this work from home quarantine thing, and I'm kind of getting a little used to it, I guess.
hmm But I mean, I work from home too sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I have my studio in my home, but even when I had my studio in my other homes before this, I always I kind of liked going other places. Like, I mean, I liked being able to get up in the morning and then throw on my pajamas or not even shower or whatever, and then just walk into the studio. But sometimes it's kind of cool to get out of the house for 8 hours or something. So,
Yeah, it's weird how like I don't miss a lot. Like I'm getting used to it. I don't know if it's like a Stockholm syndrome or something, but it's like I like sleeping in and not sitting in an hour and a half of traffic to work. I like doing the appropriate amount of work for the day that's needed because sometimes when you go to work, you don't have a whole lot to do that day, but you're stuck because you got to be there from this time to that time. Then you got to check out, and then it's another hour and a half drive home with traffic. So it's like that's a good portion of the day that doesn't exist anymore. Now it's just like wake up, I do the work that I have to do, or I don't start right away. I enjoy my morning and I ride the bike, or I'll have a breakfast or whatever I want. And then, all right, well, I'll get my few hours of work in that I need to do today. So it's a different balance.
you took your so you work. Let's start there. You work at Mattel.
Right.
What is your actual job title at Mattel?
Sound designer, just
Okay.
straight sound designer. Um, yeah, and that is there's a lot to that. I think people hear sound designer, they just think of like, oh, I work on movies and I put explosions and scenes and stuff like that. With toys, it's a lot different. We're working in the design center with the actual designers of the toys. We're working close with our licensors like WWE and Justice League and things like that. We're working with the electronics people. We do a lot with them where they actually are taking the sounds and putting them in the toy, and we're kind of like helping them as far as designing the cavities of the toys and the appropriate speakers and chip lengths, things like that. So it's a lot more than just putting sound effects in shows, which we do as well. We do a lot of YouTube content. What I love about my job is there's a lot of music composition. So I'm a musician, so we get to make music for commercials. We do a lot of YouTube stuff, Barbie, Hot Wheels, I mean, you name it. There's just so much to it, which is really, really cool. And I feel like there's not a lot of jobs out there that can do a lot of that stuff. It's kind of like, oh, I'm a sound designer on this one show. That's all I do. Whereas us, there's so many different, brands with Mattel that we get to, work with.
What is your setup at work? Are you in a cubicle? Are you in a little producer suite kind of a thing, or?
No, I mean, it's a upgrade above a cubicle. It's a room. So I have a room with a door. I can shut it, dim the lights, set the mood. It's actually really nice, nice and private. We have a shared studio that we use, Studio A, that is a big, not big, but larger tracking room, and then a control room, and that's all like soundproofed and elevated. And while in the building, most people can't hear us make a noise. We have drum sets in there, everything. You could do like a full band record in there. But then outside of that, in the same kind of area, we have our individual rooms that everyone has their own little setup, and it's just a minimal setup. And I'm looking at it right now because I had to bring it all home, which is just like, we each have our own iMac Pro and an M-Box and MIDI keyboards and our own little microphones we can just set up in the room if we have to actually record stuff. But most of the stuff, we're programming a lot of music, virtual instruments, but we always can utilize the main studio for any kind of like big recording that we need to do.
You said, so what, the trash can, is that you're in a Mac, the trash can, is that what it's called? Or?
No, the iMac Pro. So it's the desktop monitor, all in one, that kind of thing. And those are actually pretty new. Took a little while to get new machines, but we actually recently just got these, and they're blazing fast. It's really nice.
Yeah, I just got one for the studio, not a new one, like an older one, because I heard that they're monsters, and I think you can pretty much upgrade them. I mean, I don't know how upgradable they are, but I just got it's in the mail, SSD drive for it. Because
cool.
It's, because I mean, it's pretty old. So I just wanted to upgrade at least that. I mean, it's pretty quick. I don't do anything. I'm not doing what you do on it. I mean, like I'm editing some on, Premiere Pro and, doing Photoshop. That's really all I was using it for. I was using my laptop for the podcast, and I use my laptop for everything else. I mean, that's my business, it's my email and all that stuff. So I just didn't want to beat the crap out of that. I just figured I'd just get a cheap iMac or whatever to do it.
What's new with you, dude? I feel like we need to catch up. I feel like it's just been too long. I mean, you look good. You look good.
My hair's growing like a motherfucker, though. Like, I don't even know what to do at this point. I don't know. I mean, I was doing all those TV shows. We were in full effect development. I was, moving pretty quickly on those three. The two scripted and the reality, and we were getting far, and then this kind of happened. And
yeah,
it's a positive and a negative in this time. I mean, the negative is that I can't do anything. I can't take meetings. But a positive that I found, I was just saying this I was actually had a conference call this morning. Is I'm actually talking. So we're working with a really big production company, like a huge production company on this one of our specific shows. And I was actually speaking to a couple of days, last week sometime, to the president of the production company on his cell phone in his home. Like, I couldn't, like, when we first started this, I could not get him, his assistant would be like, yeah, no, he's busy. So the pro for me is I'm actually getting these people on the phone at this point. Not that I really needed to get him on the phone. I mean, he's the president. He's, he knows what's going on, but it was just kind of cool that he could actually be like, hey, I'm sitting home doing nothing. Why don't you just call me on my cell and we can talk about stuff? I'm like, okay. So I see the positive in that part of it. That's obviously, a plus for me. And then, the negatives of that, we're sitting in here, and I'm trying to be creative, and there's only so much, creativity I can do.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, your job is being creative. So, you just took your job home. So that's why I kind of came up with doing the podcast.
Yeah, no, I dig it.
I have a full-on studio in the house. I have all the cameras, the lighting. I mean, I have everything. It's all free. It's not like I have to buy anything. And to sit here and chat with you and I would be doing that maybe at Disney, not necessarily at a coffee shop, but you and I, have these conversations all the time. Why not, let other people know about you and everybody else that, that I'm friends with.
Absolutely. I'm all about it. It's really cool to see everyone. What's the word? Everyone's just kind of like improvising, and figuring it out as they go. And it's really cool to see artists um, turn to the web and hosting seminars and classes and figuring out ways to sell tickets to this thing. And then, yeah, people taking gear home or stuff they already have. It's like, well, what can I do with what I have? And I love that. I feel like that's a testament to how like much we want this to all to work, and we want to find the positive in everything. And even just local businesses around here. I mean, you're familiar with the Disney area. I mean, it's like a ghost town over there, but it's really cool in the packing district where we're at to see like all the local breweries, like still now they're delivering, or now they're doing like curbside pickup and all these different cocktails to go and things like that. And it's just really cool to see everyone just kind of figure it out, because we've never done this before. We have no idea what we're doing, but we're making it work.
Yeah, I mean, the tough part about that is, I'm in the we're both in the entertainment industry. Most of our friends are, we'll call them struggling musicians who are bartenders or cocktail waitresses, or they work at nightlife, and they're not making that tip anymore. I mean, yeah, it's great that they're now delivering the beer to your house, but they're not making $200-300 like they normally do a night. So that's like a tough thing, and that whole world is really freaking me out, because a lot of the people that I'm friends with, I could probably, I'm thinking there might be 5 or 6 people that I've talked to so far are like, hey, I can't do this. I got to go. Like, I got to pack up and go, home, or go to family members and stay with them. I mean, that's the heartbreaking thing for me, because I don't, they can't be creative, or they don't know, they work check to check. So
Right.
it's tough for them to pay those bills, and that's like the thing that really kind of annoys me in a little way.
Yeah, I mean, this is opening a lot of eyes. This is definitely like very eye-opening for just our economy and our government and our way of life. We may think that we're doing good and we're safe and we have financial security, but yeah, it just takes something like this to show our vulnerabilities as a country, really. I mean, they say, oh, you're supposed to have 3 or 4 months saved for a rainy day. This is the rainy day, and a lot of people have that because we just can't. We're barely scraping by. I would be the exact same. Luckily, knock on wood, thank Mattel for I'm in a position to where I can keep working. But if I wasn't, then yeah, I don't know what we would do. I'd probably be in the same boat. Like, hey, mom and dad, like I got to move home now because I can't afford rent. And that $1,200, thank you, government, but like that's not a whole lot for most people out here.
It's not
I'm
even
sure
rent.
$1,200 for someone living in the middle of America or wherever, that's a lot of money. I would say I think it's a lot of money, but unfortunately for people out here working in LA and whatever you're doing, like that's just not a lot. That's half of people's rent. That's a third of people's rent. So it's nice, but it's not the end all be all. It's not the fix that everybody needs. I don't know what is.
So what are you doing to keep yourself happy outside of work?
I bought a Nintendo Switch. Don't roll your eyes at me. I get out enough from Jess, so I don't know. I've always liked video games, but they've never been like that big a part of my life, and I've always wanted one because I like Super Mario, and I'm a child of the '80s, and I kind of it's fun to just like zone out. Some people like to read or watch TV. It's fun to just like pick up a controller and like be someone and run through a world and play this and that. So honestly, it's been like my savior. I was lucky to get one before they're all like sold out everywhere, and I've been playing almost every day for a couple hours or more. And it keeps me busy.
Is that like the Game Boy size, like the small one, right? Like
Yeah.
handheld or whatever?
So it's both, and you can hold it with both hands and play, and then you can dock it in a little station and take the sides off and their controllers, and then you can play on the TV. So it's like it's the best of both both worlds.
You don't have any other. You don't have Xbox or PlayStation or any of that stuff.
It looked like a PS3, but no, I'm not that kind of gamer, or at least I wasn't before I started playing Zelda. It's such an immersive game. I was like a casual cell phone gamer. I was like, oh, I'll play like 5 minutes. I can just kill a couple minutes. But now it's like I'll sit there for hours and play. And I like that there's a social aspect to it too. I'm able to like connect with some friends online, race on a Mario Kart or something like that. So games has been like something that's I would look forward to. Just like either I'm playing apples to apples on my phone with my friends, or connecting and playing Mario Kart, or we figured out how to play Jackbox games with the friends and family. So it's something I would like to do even if I wasn't in quarantine. Like I'd probably want to get together with my friends, have some beers, and like play a game or something. That'd be super fun. So it's cool to still be able to have that in whatever form I can get.
Aside from sitting on the couch and playing your Twitch all day long, are you going out? Are you working out? What are you doing? Any exercise at all?
Yeah. We were doing walking at first, but then it just got a little too sad. It's whenever you go out, it's that reminder that the world is fucking falling apart. And when you're home, it's nice because you don't see anything. It's fine. So we're doing a lot of walking around the neighborhood, maybe about 3, 4, 5 miles a day. Just go out for like hour and a half, and just kind of walk around the neighborhood, not going too far. But yeah, it just got too sad. So we bought a stationary bike, and that's kind of like our go-to, which is actually a lot better. It's really fun because I can kind of like sit on it and just kind of go casually at whatever speed, and I'm getting my exercise, burning my calories, and it's really good. Jess loves it for doing like Peloton classes, things like that. So it's cool.
So it has a TV screen on it, kind of the internet, or
no, it's got like a mount that you can put like your iPad on. So we put our iPad on there. We can do like our classes and things like that. But it'll track, just like a little LED screen, your distance and your calories, things like that. Super cheap. Amazon, $160. It did take 3 weeks to get here, which kind of sucked because, Amazon's only delivering essential stuff, and apparently fitness is not essential. Whatever.
It's so weird that you say that. I mean, I'm trying to think because I first went out when this all happened, when the whole toilet paper debacle kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
I went shopping, and I have a supermarket, like a Ralph's not too far from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there, and the place was just cleaned out, like everything. I mean, I ended up having to grab like the worst bread, some peanut butter and jelly, like just a couple of things because I didn't even think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah.
I waited a couple of days, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go like deep in the valley, and see if I can find like a place out there. So I ended up finding a Ralph's way deep in the valley, and you had to wait outside at the beginning. You know what I mean? They're only letting in so many people at a time, and that line actually wasn't that bad. I was probably out there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then when I went in there, everything was fully stocked. But just the whole aggravation of it and having to drive all the way out there, and then people just being weird, like I couldn't stand it. So I went to Amazon Fresh, and that's what I do now.
Oh, nice. Do you get stuff like in a reasonable amount of time? Like, you Amazon Fresh? All right, dude. Yeah. Well, is that like particular to certain areas? Like certain areas can do it and certain can't? Like,
no, I think they do it via your local Whole Foods. You have a Whole Foods probably from me, because don't you?
Kinda. I mean, I'd say 15 miles. Yeah, it's pretty far.
Yeah, it would go. I mean, we have a bunch of them around me, but I didn't even think of it. I just figured they go to, because actually, to be honest with you, I think that because they tell you where the driver is, like a little map comes up when you're next, or how many stops they have before you. I don't know if you've ever looked at Amazon before, and I've usually seen him. It says you're the next stop, but he's like downtown someplace. Mm-hmm. So there might be like a distribution center that has all the food. So there has to be one in the Anaheim, or in anywhere, in that area.
Yeah, I'm sure close enough.
But I was telling somebody the story a couple of days ago, and they were like, every time I go on there, there's no delivery times. So if you go on there, and I'm giving everybody the trick now, because at this point we're probably going to be getting out of our houses soon anyways, but
yeah.
The trick was to once you get to that to that page where it's you pick the time, it says there are none available. You just stay there, maybe walk away from your computer, and then come back like 15 minutes later and refresh it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I have. It seems like now recently in the past like week or so, as soon as I got to that page, they were they actually had some delivery times. But at the beginning, I would be refreshing for like 2 hours just to get. Wow. Because every once in a while they release new times, and new days and stuff like that. So you just sit there and wait. And the most I've ever waited was 3 days. So
That's not
it's okay.
bad.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
If you're not dying for anything, then
No.
that's good. We actually the other day just got down to our last toilet paper roll. Like I just could not understand like the mentality of hoarding toilet paper. Like I just don't get that. That's the one thing that us as a species instinctively go, oh, I need to buy toilet paper. But I'm like, yeah, it would suck to run out. I hope I don't. But yeah, we finally got to that point where like, oh fuck, we're almost done with our last roll. We need to like go get toilet paper. And luckily at this point in the quarantine, the local Vons across the street had a few left. They weren't completely stripped, but they had a few rolls left. We were able to like stock up. But yeah, we've been really lucky with just local grocery hauls. They've been having at least everything that we need, and we were pretty resourceful, and we can extend a lot of meals, like just the two of us. So we're able to like cook a few things and it lasts for days, and we're good. But I don't understand I mean, I get it. I understand the hoarding, like every man for himself, but
Yeah, but that doesn't even, it just, that specific thing, the Purell, I totally get. I get the Purell, like hoarding Purell. It never goes bad. I mean, the toilet paper doesn't go bad either, but it's, it's a germ thing that people, I get that. But there's millions other things. You can get napkins. You can get paper towels. You can
sure.
just get off of the toilet and get in the shower. I mean, there's a million things. You don't necessarily need toilet paper. Like I never understood. That one was just kind of weird.
there's just a lot of everyone's different though. Like I agree with you 100%. There's so many things you can do, but there's a lot of people that like would be grossed out by that, or just, oh, I would never just get in the shower. Oh, I have to use paper. It's just people are not, they're just germaphobes in a certain way where like they just have to do it that certain way. And I mean, I get it,
But even babies, they have diapers, yes, but they have baby wipes too. But they used to, and I'm sure, and I know they still do because I've still seen parents use them, like face cloth style things. That's how they wipe their butt. So then go to Target, buy a bundle of face cloth. You know what I mean? There's just so many things that you can just. That was the one thing that just kind of I didn't understand that at all.
I've had or you can be cool and hip and get a really nice bidet. I don't know if you use one or what. I don't own one, but secretly really want one. I've only used it like once or twice, but life-changing, I'll say that. It's like, it's totally worth it. And I got a bunch of friends who are like all into their bidet, and they say it's the best. And they're like, I don't use any toilet paper.
You can buy an attachment, right, for your toilet, right? Isn't there ways of doing that too? Okay.
Oh, I've done all the research. It's been in my shopping cart on Amazon for for months now. Way before quarantine. But yeah, it's
how much does it cost?
I mean, you can get them for like anywhere from $30 to like, I don't know, a couple hundred, depending on all the bells and whistles that you want.
What bells and whistles?
Dude,
what are you talking about? It's
educate
warm
you.
squirting water, man.
No, all right. Well, it does that, but some of them have variable speeds, intensities. Some of them, if you have the right hookups, will let you do cold and warm water. Because the last thing you want in your beehole is cold water.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend to anyone listening, go down the rabbit hole, just search for bidets on Amazon and giggle with us.
So work's good. You're still working, which is great. And you're doing some twitching or switching or whatever the hell that stupid game thing is, which is probably not fun. And you're bicycling, which is good. I guess the question is more for Jess than it is for you. Have you heard anything about Disney at all, or what's going on there?
Yeah, last we heard, they furloughed just about everybody. Like I mean, I'm sure they're staying open for like maintenance and things like that. But yeah, even all like the back house office jobs. I have a bunch of friends who are involved with that, and a lot of them are getting furloughed just as of recently. So they held on for a bit, which was really, really cool. And I commend Disney for that. They were able to for like almost the first 4 weeks, I think, they're able to keep paying people like their average rate, which is really good. But yeah, there's like literally no word, at least for Jess and like parades. I feel like that's going to be a while before they bring that back. And who knows? I mean, I even just did podcast with some friends the other day, and one of the guys works for the hotels, and it's the same thing. It's just like they just have no idea. And it really will just, I think, just come down to the governor and all those regulations. I feel like big place like Disneyland is going to be last when it comes to reopening. But yeah, nothing solid, not yet. Just kind of holding on.
Yeah, I mean that's the worst thing. I mean, the same for. I mean, I work out at Universal, which is right up the street from my house too. So I mean, they're not. I heard that they're opening around June-ish or July or something, but yeah, I mean, I need to get that Disney open ASAP.
Yeah, we need that as well. And I'm sure we're getting married in July, which is like, the clock is freaking ticking on this. And it sucks because, we got engaged a year ago and we planned this amazing wedding, and we planned it to be at the Fifth in Anaheim, which is right across the street from Disneyland. It's a rooftop bar restaurant that looks into Disneyland. It's freaking sick. It's perfect. Her and I met there. It's like the perfect wedding we planned. And it's like this close to being completely, ruined by all of this. And I mean, I sound like a jerk saying that because it's just a wedding, and yes, people are dying. I get it. But like, we put a lot of money into this, put a lot of time, a lot of planning, and it's your wedding. You really don't want to like compromise on a lot of things. I'm finding this out about myself. Like, I'm being a little greedy, and like, yes, I don't want to compromise. I don't want to have people in there in masks. I don't want to lean into it. I see a lot of people online, people are getting married, and I'm like, oh, whatever, we'll just wear masks in our photos and we'll social distance. I'm like, fuck that, dude. You know how much money this wedding is and how badass we originally like planned it? So we're just kind of like taking it day by day, and they furloughed a bunch of people out of our venue, and we don't really know like if they're going to be open in time, and it's just kind of like just waiting, and everyone's just like, oh, we're going to do mid-April, and then it's like, all right, now it's mid-May. It's like, well, hopefully by June 1st. It's like, at what point do you pull the plug? How late are you not screwed with contracts and things like that, and rescheduling, and it's just a nightmare. So that's where our stress is right now.
There are people also flying out that,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, our mutual friend who I met you with originally, I mean, she's coming from New York right now. So to me, it's like that kind of could put a damper on whether people can come out too. So,
and back to Disney, that was kind of the point I was going to go back to and try to make was, our wedding is across the street from Disneyland. It looks into the park. They shoot the fireworks off almost right in front of your face. And our venue, they dim the lights, they blast the music from the park, and it's great. It's like this amazing little bonus that you get with our wedding. This is something that the venue just does every night. But like, yeah, if Disneyland's not open, then I don't get my fireworks show at my fucking wedding. I know I planned the layout of the whole entire venue based off of the fireworks are going to go off over here, and I'm going to put this thing here. We're going to take our pictures. Like, I've planned this to the T. Like, I planned this out. And like, if that's, maybe they reopen the venue and everyone's able to come out and stay in the hotel, but that's the one thing I don't get is because Disney's not open and I don't get the fireworks. It's like, well, do I just bite the bullet and it's fine? Do we postpone a year? Hopefully a year from now we're good. I don't know, but yeah, it's hard to tell.
let me be the big brother for a second. I mean,
Please,
for you,
please.
because I love you guys very much. So, I mean, is it really something that you don't have to get married? You're going to get married to her. You're going to spend the rest of your life with her.
Right.
So pushing it off till next whatever gives you that more time to save. None of those people that you put deposits on are going to take your money. I mean, I think everything would probably, you'd either get your money back from, I'm assuming, I don't know. I mean,
every vendor will postpone. Everyone's like, we're all in this together, and they're all like, oh yeah, if we have to postpone, we'll postpone as long as the date's available, of course. So
right.
It'll be like starting over in a way where we have to like, coordinate with everybody. But yeah, we wouldn't lose on anything by just postponing a year. But I'm 35, she's 36, and we're kind of like ready to kind of move on with our lives, and we don't want to yeah, we wanted to get married. And then that's another conversation. It's like, all right, so go get married. Like, go to the courthouse and go get your marriage license. Like, just go do it and then celebrate later with the wedding. I'm like, does that take away like some of the specialness from it?
Well, you still have to go to, to town hall to get your certificate regardless,
Right.
right? So, I mean, go get your certificate, your license or whatever. You're married. You can sit there and say you're married and then go have a big party when Disney is shooting off fireworks again, really. I mean, that's me I know how much of a brat you are. So that's me saying I would hate you to be like in 5 years, we had this great thing that happened. And you know what I mean? Like, I would not want you to be, I don't know.
I know.
Maybe me, you, and Jessica should have this conversation together. But
no, totally. I think we should offline.
Yes.
We should definitely have a conversation about it, because I mean, I especially value the opinion of others. Not all the time, like, I don't, but like for this, I feel like, yes, it's our wedding and there's a part of it that you should just be very selfish with, but also like, this is like, I'm bringing everybody I love, all my closest friends and family, people I haven't seen in a long time. They're all going to be there, and I would like to know that they're even interested in doing something, so soon, or if they would even have fun. I want to make sure people are enjoying themselves and they're not mad at us for not having face masks for them. Oh, you don't have sanitizer on every table. Like, what are, like, I don't know. So part of me wants to like send out a little survey asking people like, hey, are you still even interested in this? If we did the wedding, what would you want us to do? Would you want us to have face masks? Would you want us to have sanitizer? Would you want us to not do dancing? Like, things like that, So it's hard. And I didn't think that I would ever have to think these things, like, it's stressful enough planning the wedding, and now having to think of this extra layer is just making me want to be like, no, let's just postpone. Let's just fucking do this. I want to do it right, and I don't want to compromise. And that's just the selfishness.
But that's right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, we
Right.
definitely need to have this conversation off the air or whatever. But it's true, though. I mean, it is your wedding, and you want it to be right. And I would hate to see you guys not be able to get those people that you love and care about from wherever, and then it not be the same thing. And so, but you can also wait a minute. You know what I mean? There are developments happening every day where I don't even know what month we're in anymore. Are we coming into May right now?
We're almost in May.
Okay, so in a couple days it's going to be May. So you still technically have 2 month-ish. I'm assuming that anyone who was coming already booked their tickets anyway, so they all already had their flights and their hotels.
And if they didn't, they should, because everything is so cheap right now. I think people ask us, they're reaching out. A lot of Jess's friends, because they're all from out of state, so they're like, hey, are you still getting married? Because I'm going to get a flight for $70 round trip.
Yeah.
We're like, just do it. Just buy it anyway.
Yeah. Just come out here and come to Disney, for God's sake. Who cares, at this point? We talked recently about, I did mention to you about getting into the park, right? Did we talk about that? Did I text you about that?
What? Maybe.
He's a big exec for something. I don't know. He opened up either Tokyo or Euro, one of those Disneys. He opened that, and then he came out to Disneyland. I used to work with him at Orlando like a bazillion years ago. So he came out here to go to Burbank because they were having some big, production kind of executive meeting kind of thing at the Disney, headquarters or whatever. And in the middle of that, or towards the end of that, that's when this whole pandemic happened, where people were not flying or doing all that kind of stuff. So he was going to come stay with me, but they ended up putting him up in a hotel. And I said, do you still know people over at Disneyland? And he's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, what's the chance of me getting into Disneyland? He's like, what do you mean? There's nothing open. I'm like, no. I just want to walk around. Like, I just want to be able to get onto the property.
Like maybe Ghost Town Disneyland? You just want to walk around?
And,
that would be so badass, though. Can
we
talk about how badass that would be?
That's what I'm saying. And to me, and I was talking to Cabrera about it, too. I was like, I would be the person who would walk into the attractions and then walk into the ride. Like, I would be lights on.
I'd be on the track.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I would love to crawl around Space Mountain so bad. Like, I would flip the lights. I would flip the damn lights on, and for the first thing, flip the lights on so I can see what the fuck is going on, because that ride scares the shit out of me because it's pitch black. And I would fucking climb those like monkey bars, dude. That would be like, oh man, that's like a weird like fantasy. I think we both discovered that we have in common.
But he's like, there's no one there, and I'm like, no, that's exactly what I want. And he was like, all right, let me see, who's running, because there's only 6. Like, I think there is construction going on there, which would be smart. I'm assuming that they're trying to get stuff done. Well,
I want to say that was part of our conversation, and that I think they just had to make them stop. But yeah, I mean, that would be the smartest thing they could ever do, is like, all right, well, let's focus on construction. And then when they finally reopen, it's just like a whole new park. I know they're developing that whole Marvel Avengers campus. Like, there's so much that was in the works there that, I would hate to see that be halted as far as its timeline, to have us wait like a whole another year for that. But yeah, I mean, there's so much that they were doing.
They were supposed to be ready for that in July.
This summer.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they didn't get any work done in these past 2 months or whatever, I'm sure it would probably just be pushed to September-ish or October-ish or something, I'm assuming.
Hopefully.
I mean, I don't know. But I mean, the thing that I was, when I was talking to him, I was like, just think about this park has not been closed in, I don't know, like closed with no one there. Like the amount of things that you could do with not one body there, like painting or fixing something that's never been able to be. I mean, it's just so. To me,
yeah.
If I was an exec, I would be like, I don't care. Put 2 people, put them in full hazmat suits, and let them paint or
let them work
whatever.
all night. Exactly. Like, they have 24 hours now, 7 days a week, to like be working on the park and fixing things. It's a great opportunity. And I don't know how that Disney machine works, if like they're not making money from all the parks around the world. Like, are they just dead in the water? Or do they have some sort of resource to pay these people for X amount of months? What's the difference between a local business who's used to making this amount of money, who has this kind of rent, this many people, they're done. I feel like Disney's the same. It's like, all right, yeah, we're making billions of dollars, but we're spending billions of dollars, and now we're not making billions of dollars, so now we can't spend anything. Like, part of me understands the logic. Like, yeah, they should probably not be doing construction right now, but yes, this would be the best time.
Right, but also they don't have bills. They don't have a mortgage or rent. You know what I mean?
Not?
Like, they own the property. You know what I mean? They must.
They own the whole town.
They probably have property taxes, but they don't have rent or anything like that. You know what I mean? And I think their electric grid is done by hydro or something. They use water to give electric, and you know what I mean, and all that stuff, and gas. And I mean, they're kind of self-sufficient, I think. So, I mean, make a long story short, they ended up flying everybody back on private jets to their homes or whatever. So I was like, that was annoying. It was like the worst thing. So he owes me.
Dude, Disneyland is the best with you. I've been going for years, and back in the day, I would do the same. I don't know if you like to talk about your tricks that you do at Disneyland.
Not really, but we can peruse through them. My little VIP tricks or whatever.
You do we'll just call it the VIP. I used to do
go.
VIP back in the day. I used to figure out how to get my own VIP. And that was like the best way to do it. It's the best way to do Disney, because you're literally a VIP and you can go on any ride. You can just get so much done in one day. And I just forgot that you could do that at Disney, and that just this whole other Disney that I forgot about. And then once we started going with you, it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot how much fun you can actually have at Disneyland.
Right.
If you put your mind to it and you got the right friends. Yeah, it's just the best when we go with you. I mean, we have a great time no matter what. I mean, go to California Adventure and have a couple beers, we'll be fine. But it's fun when you get to be VIP for a day.
Yeah, I mean, VIP is definitely a perk that I don't think I could ever go any place without it.
All your listeners are going to be like, dude, what's VIP? How do I get VIP? What do I do? What do I do? I don't know personally, and I don't want to know. I don't want you to tell anybody. So we'll just leave it at that.
I can't share it. Sorry.
It's okay. We'll just say that you're the guy to go with if anyone wants to hang.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I used to work at Disney World in Orlando. I started in attractions, the normal attraction Space and Splash Mountain and Thunder and Haunted Mansion and all that stuff. And then I went into guest relations. I was a VIP, tour guide for, a couple of years or whatever too. So I kind of learned tricks there. I mean, it's different parks. It's set up differently, but
Right.
you can there's usually ways around everything. You know what I mean? Like it's like I was talking to Ryan, I was, cause him and I did one of these podcasts and we talk every day, we hang out, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard, you and I don't see each other that often. So this is a little bit easier, but him and
Right.
I are, 5 or 6 times a day. So I decided I'm going to do a challenge with you. And he's like, we're going to do a Disney challenge. And I'm like, no, because we know, like he knows all the tricks just as much.
Sure.
So he was, I'm like, we know things like where's the closest bathroom to like Jungle Cruise or something. Like we know all those specific little things that people don't know.
It's the one by the Indiana Jones store. It's the one by the Tiki, by the Dole
Yeah,
Whip.
right,
That's the bathroom.
Yeah, by the Dole Whip. Yeah.
Give me a harder one.
Oh, okay.
You need to involve me on these. I mean,
where's the well, because I'll tell you what we ended up doing together. But where's the closest one to Space Mountain?
At Space Mountain.
Yes, the exit.
Yeah,
Space
the
Mountain.
exit. Yeah, I've used that. I've used that several times. I've gone so much. I've probably used every single bathroom.
Okay, you've gone through. Go ahead. Were you gonna say?
I was
something?
gonna say that I correct myself because when I went the first time I met you, when we went, I had a little too much to drink. Sorry, ma.
Yeah.
But I drunkenly discovered a bathroom that I had never been to before, and it was something that I remembered days later.
Which one?
By Autopia. Do you know that one that's tucked in by Autopia?
Oh yeah, to the entrance of Autopia. Like
yeah,
going
like
down-
in between
okay.
Autopia and the Imagineer big building, like way back in that, there's a bathroom there, and I had no idea. I'm like, did I use a bathroom there? I think I did.
Well, I don't like sharing all my secrets. I mean, not like thousands and millions of people are going to see this podcast, but there is one thing about the bathroom situation that I will say. I won't share. I took you a different way to get into DCA, right? Besides going in through the gates.
Like through the hotel?
Yeah.
I think so. We've used that entrance before because we always like to take a break and go to the hotel and then go back.
That bathroom, all the bathrooms in that hotel are phenomenal.
Oh,
Those are the
really?
best bathrooms. The one near well, there's a new pool bar, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if you
yeah,
saw
the
that.
Craftsman.
Yep. So there are bathrooms there that are really nice, but the ones that are near the lobby, if you go into the shitter, they actually have separate doors.
Because it's like your own door.
Yes.
Like that, they do bathrooms right. It's just
Right.
the little things, the little things about Disney. You got your own door, ceiling to floor.
Yep.
What more could you ask for?
Yep. Totally. And there's enough room in there. You can do this, and you can put your phone up there.
Whatever
and,
you want to do.
Stretch out, do it all. Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, I can't wait to go poo at these bathrooms again. Oh,
I know, right?
it's those weird things I'm looking forward to now.
I was talking to an actor about where the industry's going. I mean, luckily, you guys didn't really you have I guess can use it like a backlog of stuff, right? I mean, music stuff is coming in, toys are still being made, and commercials are still being made and stuff like that. So you guys there's no lull in that, is there?
No, there is no lull. And yeah, I mean, I do mostly content creation. Product is a big part of it, but I would say most of what we do is content. And there's never been a more important time for content because people are consuming so much of it now, And yeah, it's literally like nothing has changed. Like, yes, I'm in my bedroom and yes, there's cats crawling around here. But other than that, it's the same amount of work. It's the same thing. It's just, we're doing it in a totally different way. I'm just a sound guy. So I don't really know, like, as far as like higher up, as far as what kind of products they're canceling or that kind of stuff. But I want to say that most of it is still good and still happening. And we're making toys a year or two in advance. So all the stuff that we're doing is a couple of years from now. So there's still going to be toys coming out because we did this stuff a year ago. So that's not going to change. But I don't know a few years from now what it's going to look like if we're going to have less product. But Mattel's been working towards that anyway. Mattel's been working towards less SKUs and way more content. I mean, we're making feature films and a bunch of like TV show content, things like that. So that was the direction anyway that this was heading in. So it's kind of business as usual.
Let's talk about the famous Just On Point TikTok star.
Hey, I'm next, dude. I don't know if you're up to speed, but I'm starting to guest star in these TikToks. And
Oh, I saw the guest stars. I thought you haven't opened up your own TikTok yet? Or...
No. I'm usually late to the party on all this stuff. Just because, you know, I don't know. My first instinct is always like, oh, that's silly. I don't get it. You know, a lot of the TikToks are like dance related. Oh, they're doing this dance. I'm like, well, why are they doing it? Like, they're just because everyone else is doing it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't really get it, but it's such a great way to be fun and creative. You know, I really get it, and it's fun to like, especially the way that Jess is doing it, twisting everything in a Disney theme and like taking all these trends that are happening and kind of reinventing them in her own fun way. And I don't have to be in all of them, but you know, the ones that I do get to be in, it's pretty fun. We just did one today. I don't know if we're going to post it, but we just did one today.
Well, I've had TikTok since it started. Actually, I had TikTok before because it used to be called something called Musical.ly. I don't know if you remember.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
So some company, I don't know where, bought it and then took it over and turned it into TikTok. And I feel that TikTok is kind of like, so stupid to say this, but it's kind of like Vine. It's like, okay.
It's just like Vine. Yeah.
You're great for 15 seconds or 30.
Yeah. All you've got is like 15 seconds. You better be funny.
Right.
And I love it. I love it though. Cause like I loved Vine, and like, I should probably like open my doors to TikTok and just get it and have fun. Cause it's all it is. It's fun. But yeah, what a great way to be creative. Like sometimes you need 2 hours to tell a story to someone. Sometimes you can to make them feel something. Sometimes you can do it in 5 seconds, you know, and sometimes it takes 20, 15, whatever. And I find that there's a lot of art in that, you know, and it's really cool.
I like what Jess is doing because she's doing it Disney. She's parlaying it into the Disney stuff. She's taking, like you said, she's taking, you know, viral things and changing them into, parlaying them into her Disney stuff and changing them up, changing clothes and, you know, we talked recently, I had texted her recently about the one where she's jumping up and changing clothes every time. Yeah. I'm like, how long did that take? She's like, it took like hours to do that. I'm like, it's like hours to put all that to do. You're working on something for 4 hours for 15 seconds to 30 seconds of footage, basically.
That one took a long time, you know, and bless her heart, she sat there and edited the whole thing and shot the whole thing all herself while I was playing Zelda. But hey, it's a great thing to like, keep your mind occupied, stay creative. It's fun, it's funny, it's all for enjoyment. You know, it's great. It's a fun, I mean, you call it a hobby. It's fun.
Yeah. I just, you know, it's, like I said, getting back to it, like Jess is doing it creatively, I feel, but there are some people out there just doing nothing. Like that's just doing it because everybody else is doing it there.
Right. That's the part where I don't really get it, you know?
Yeah, that's the one that I don't like. I mean, I just recently interviewed oh God, no, I forget what they're called. A shuffler, they're called. There's some sort of dancer, EDM style kind of shuffler dancer thing or whatever.
Right.
She's like, you know, full on, that's what she does, TikToks, and she has bazillions of followers and likes and views or whatever it is. But what are you parlaying that into? Like, what, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, as a musician, there's opportunity. I'm part of Music Reports. It's some sort of royalty collection company. There's a bunch of them out there, but yeah, like I get updates all the time. Like, hey, this new app wants to use your music. Is it okay? And I got one from TikTok. So I'm like, well, fuck, if New Year's Day songs are being used for TikTok, that's one way to make money. You know, I don't know about the users and all the funny little dances they're doing, but good for musicians.
No, it's great for musicians. I mean, for sure, especially if you're an artist and you can get your song out there and then get it viral, everyone's going to use the same song. I mean, that's kind of how, I'm sure there's some way that it has to be a certain amount of seconds for the people to get money. And then I'm sure it's not as much money. You know, the music business is always trying to screw people over anyways, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, that whole world, like being able to do that it's definitely, again, and the music business right now with content. I was talking to a composer that introduced you to, who I was like, listen, there's a lot of people like me who are doing YouTube stuff and content stuff. We need music. Like, this is a perfect time for people who are stuck in their house to be filling up their hard drives with most random source and all that kind of music. I mean, this is definitely a good time to be creative.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it can be done with minimal gear. You know, you can make music on your fucking iPad. You know, you can make this, make that. There's just so much that people can do right now with very little, and plenty of places that they can put that music for it to start generating money. I mean, it's still very hard. This isn't as easy as I'm saying, but you know, whether it's Music Bed or like Pond 5 or like was a Sony EMI, like there's so many music licensing sites and companies out there that people can be utilizing. They can be at home. All right, I got no job, but I'm a musician. I'm just going to write a bunch of songs. Just write a bunch of ballad stuff, no vocal, just a bunch of instrumentals, make them 3.5 to 4.5 minutes. Boom. Just start putting them online, put like a 30-second fun jingle up there. Dude, people will license it and like you can make money, and that's forever money. That's not just quarantine money. That's forever money. People should be doing this no matter what. So yeah. And then branding themselves and putting out their own content and making sure it's registered, so they get their royalties, get their money. Like, perfect time. No excuses. Everyone should be productive.
Are you ready to go back to work, to go back to the office, or no?
Well, yeah, we just heard today that it might be June 1st, which is really cool. It's good to give some sort of, all right, there's the end of the tunnel. You know, I don't care if it's a month from now or 3 months from now, but it's exciting to think about. Yeah, I'm definitely ready. I do really miss my coworkers. That's just funny how most people, that's what they say, is like, I just miss the people. The job is the same, it's whatever, but I miss the people that I work with at Mattel, especially in the sound design studio. And we use Microsoft Teams. I don't know if you use Teams for anything, but it's kind of like Zoom, but we use that for like all our communication. And we do a weekly, Teams meeting where we're talking face to face, and just sometimes we have things to talk about business wise. Most of the time we don't. We just kind of like shoot the shit a little bit, check in with everybody. But it's just like, they're your coworkers, but they're also in a way they're your family. They're your friends. You see them more than you see your other close friends. You see them more than you see your spouses and significant others. Like, they're a big part of your life. So that's definitely what I'm most excited about, is to get back and see these people and hang out.
But as far as the offices are concerned, you said you have your own little office with the door and stuff. I mean, is there a lot of people there? I mean, is it under 10 people in the office? I mean, you're basically...
It's about 10 people.
If you're in two different offices, if you're in your own producer suite and somebody else, you're still staying that 6 feet away, so...
Totally. Like, we would be great candidates for that. We would probably have to put in some practices for, like, sterilizing things, I guess. I don't know, an instrument that you're playing, or... we bring in talent from outside all the time. I'd say almost every day there's outside talent coming in to record voiceover for whatever product, show, movie. So I think there'd be like some challenges there as far as like making sure, I don't know, someone's up close on a microphone, like this, and there's a windscreen right here. We'll probably have to like throw them away. I don't know, change them out. That's the uncleared things. I don't really know what's going to happen with that, but yeah, I mean, we stay pretty far apart normally,
They were, the reason why I got into this is I was following a bunch of comedians have podcasts, Tom Segura and Whitney Cummings and Brian Callen, they all have their, so I was looking at it, but I was watching one the other day and they were talking about the microphones and that they're going from stage to stage, and that one comedian's doing this and then the next comedian's doing this, and then it's like gross. But I did see... sorry, but like, I toured for 8 years in this band, and like, there's so many times where you get on stage and you're just setting up the microphone and you fucking smell that thing. Oh yeah.
Oh,
But there was, I don't remember where I saw it, but I recently saw some guy took off, had to be not a 57, maybe it was a
58.
what's the, not like a round one. Is that a 58? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
58.
Yeah.
Yeah. The normal ones that everyone uses. You can actually unscrew them, and then he was putting them in the dishwasher, and then doing the
I mean, it's just a
dishwasher.
metal grill.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't
there's
see
like
why not.
there's a little padding or something inside of it or whatever.
Right, right.
Like a. So I thought, I mean, at least he was thinking, you know what I mean? Like when he was talking, he's like, I've been doing this for years because the amount of crap and smell and everything like that. I'm like, I know, I've been there before.
Oh
It's
God.
fucking gross.
I can't imagine. Ugh. Yeah.
I do want to talk to you guys at some point. Maybe we can do an off-air Zoom or something, or a conference call or something, and kind of see where you guys going. But I think you should relax for a minute and see what happens in the next kind of week or two, and then just let's see what happens. But I mean, my personal opinion would be, I would want you to be happy and not regret any kind of situation, because hopefully you're only gonna do this once.
I'm only doing it once, Rob. Just once. And yeah, we're doing our very best to stay positive, and we have each other. So bottom line, like, we're good. No matter what, we're gonna be happy. We're in love. We're gonna get married, and we're healthy. Our families are healthy. Like, we're always looking at the positives.
Doesn't matter.
So my message to your listeners: just always find the positives. Focus on those.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. But the name of my podcast is Cool, Calm, Connected, because I'm freaking connected, as you do know, or I claim to be. But I do say this kind of at the end of it. It's like, if you guys know, if you ever need anything, or, need some help or something, then please, feel free to call me up. I'm always around to help with anything. So I always like to kind of extend that.
Well, we appreciate that. We got a lot of hanging in our future.
Yes.
So
I need Disney like ASAP. The second they open, I'm going to be at that gate for sure. Like, Ryan and I were just talking. We'll go to the Grand Californian and like just go there, stay there for like a week, the first week that they open or something like that, and just get it out of our system.
Hey, with all the money you're probably saving, I'm saving a fuck ton of money. But
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
oh yeah, that's another thing. Is like, I know we were gonna probably wrap this up, but like, that's a blessing in all this is how much money I'm saving is because we're not going to Disney 3 times a week and spending $100 each time on food and drinks. It's like, yeah, we're saving a lot of money. So this is good.
Your pass is still active?
I haven't even checked because it automatically withdraws. So I'm not sure. I know they sent out plenty of notices about it.
Both my Disney and my Universal were up in like the beginning of March.
Oh,
so
shoot.
I was like, I'll just wait for a second, and then this happened. So I'm just, as soon as everyone opens, then I'll go and get it again. It's not like
I had just renewed in January, so I think mine is just paused.
Yeah, they pause them. They're gonna give you credit for it. But I was just like, I'm not gonna, like if they're actually thinking about closing, I'm not gonna go get it now. It's kind of stupid. It makes no sense. So
Yeah. But they're doing it right. They're not gypping anybody. They wouldn't.
no way.
So,
And I'm
Disney.
sure they're gonna go full force and get you guys out there as soon as possible to make more money. I mean,
They'll dangle something in front of us,
yeah.
some new festival or some new attraction. Hey, look at this.
100%.
You haven't done this yet.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for doing the show, and I'm glad we could finally do this. And
Thanks for having me.
So if you guys need anything, just let me know.
Let's do this again sometime.
You got it.
All right, man. Talk to you
buddy.
soon.
You too.